Well, protests in support of Sarah Halimi are also being seen in New York City today. And joining us is Dovid Efune, the editor-in-chief of the Algemeiner. So, Dovid, my first question for you is, what kind of responses are we seeing from Jews around the world? And why has this case triggered so much outrage?
I think it's incredible to see just how broad and how extensive across the world, as you say, in Europe, in the United States, in Israel, the solidarity has been with the family of Sarah Halimi. And the call for justice is ringing across the globe. It's resonated because the injustice is so great. We've known for so long that the harm and the danger and threats that have been thrust upon French Jewry have been significant and extensive and torturous. But certainly the ability to achieve justice and to track down perpetrators has been fundamental and crucial. Now French Jews are faced with a scenario where not only are they facing the challenges and threats, but the tools with which to respond to them and hold perpetrators accountable have been hamstrung significantly by the state.
Right.
And the judicial system.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, obviously we have been seeing a rise in anti-Semitic incidents across Europe and the world. What do you think this can be attributed to?
Look, the questions about what leads to a rise in anti-Semitism are broad and extensive, and I'll leave that to the scholars of anti-Semitism and the data analysts to present some more details. And you know, I know we've discussed this also in some of our previous discussions, but I think what's at stake here is our ability, and what's really outraging so many people is the ability of governments and responsible parties to respond to these threats and to protect and secure the Jewish communities for which they are responsible. Here you have a situation where one of the most beleaguered Jewish communities on the planet has been dealt an incredible injustice, leaving every single member of that community concerned and fearing that their security and safety can no longer be guaranteed and secured in the country of France.
You know, I'm interested to know how the French government is responding and whether or not these protests go beyond just the Jewish community, if we're seeing people from, you know, all walks of society join in on this.
Well, so far what we've seen are statements of solidarity, in my opinion, not strong enough, and some sort of technical efforts. So, you know, they're describing this as sort of a loophole in the law that needs to be closed. But the truth is that, you know, any sound justice system needs to have within it the ability to recognize a situation where you have a clear racial murder and to adjust to it accordingly. You know, they're speaking of this sort of technical loophole whereby the trial was unable to proceed because of this state of delirium induced by weed. Having said that, by marijuana consumption. Having said that, you know, if you look at the full scope of tools that the justice system has and should has, the picture that is being painted for French Jewry, and by the way that the media has covered this case in France from the beginning, the picture that is being painted to French Jewry is that this is just not a priority. This is just not important. Holding this perpetrator to account, highlighting the anti-Semitic nature of the crime, and ensuring that he's held fully accountable has not been a priority. It hasn't been a serious and significant concern to leaders of the French judicial system and, of course, the government.